Hello again, Chris Naku here with the last exercise in the series of how to make this summer your best summer yet. And that's going to be about getting clear with your priorities and really just kind of simplifying what it is that you're looking for. So I'm going to share my screen with you here so we can kind of walk through this. This is an exercise I did probably 10 years ago to help really get a lot of clarity as far as what mattered. So really what you want to do is this. You want to write down all the things that matter to you in your life. So for example, a lot of times people write down family, friends, school, sports if you play sports, um, fitness, right? Maybe that's like health, fitness, health, H-E-L-T-H, right? If you're a religious person, right? So maybe faith. A lot of different things here. So you can really kind of get into the minutia of this, where it could be like if you're training for something or running or whatever, you can kind of expand on this. It doesn't have to be 6, but it could be 8, it could be 10. It could be quite a different thing. So if I look at my list of different stuff I had here, it could be if you have a relationship, right? Be that relationship. It could be, if you're working, that might be a good thing to have on there too. Could be, personal growth. Could be anything, right? So anything that you value that's a priority to you, you want to do that. And then here's the really simple exercise. What you do is you take 1 versus 2 and you say, hey, which is more important? Is my family or are my friends more important, right? So you go 1 to 1 and you go, in this case, let's say family is more important than friends. So that gets aligned. So we'll put 1 there. And then I take family, I take 1 versus 3. So family versus school. Since I'm not in school, that's pretty easy. 2 for family. Sports, if I'm playing sports, I'm not playing sports, so that would be pretty easy for me. Family would be over sports. Fitness or health. I would actually probably give fitness or health right now more important than family to me. And there's different reasons for that, but really simple. I know if I'm taking care of myself, I can show up better for my family. Family versus faith. I wouldn't consider myself to be a super religious person right now, but family and faith. And this is where you got to kind of figure stuff out. So I'm gonna do this real quick. Relationship over family. And you keep going down and down. And then eventually what happens is you figure out which ones are the most important to you, right? And so let's just say that arbitrarily family happens to be, it doesn't always work out where it's the same one, where it's always the highest, but sometimes it is, right? Maybe friends are 3 or 4, maybe 3 family. Friends are here, schools, schools 1, sports are, sports end up being 3. You kind of just go through this and figure out what's that, right? And then what you'd want to do is you'd want to figure out based on what you want out of the summer, want to prioritize it based on that. So if family is the most important to you, you kind of figure out what that means. So does that mean you have to hang out with your family every day of the week? Probably not. But does that mean that you're making the time for dinners, or you have a ritual with your family that you want to make sure you honor? You want to put that in first and foremost, because sometimes just because they're the most important, it doesn't take up a lot of time. It's just like little activities you got to do. So you want to kind of define that. And then what you want to do is put it in your schedule. So that if a family dinner is a thing that's really important to you, you want to put that in your schedule. Maybe that's every Monday through Friday, and that's from 6 until 7:30, right? The next category happen to be friends, right? Cool. How do you honor that? Like, what does that look like? Does that mean, ideally, I remember when I was between high school and college, my ideal day or my ideal summer was hanging out with my friends all day long at a pool party. And the older and older I got, the less and less of a reality that was. As much as I wanted to do that, it just wasn't possible because my friends were working other jobs where they were working 40 hours, or they're in other things where they just couldn't do that. So, it really kind of came down to you hung out when you could, and that was usually at nights at random people's houses, or the weekends, or when parties were going on. So you kind of got to figure out what matters to you, right? School, if you got summer school, great. If you don't, that's pretty easy. You don't have to do that unless maybe you're reading a book. Again, just kind of figure out what your priorities are, and then you kind of do that. For me, I also like to ask this as far as work goes, really kind of figuring out why you're working in the first place. If you're working just because you need to make some cash, there's probably better ways to do it than have to commit to a long hourly job where you're working 20, 30 hours a week to make $200. There's definitely better ways to do that depending on how much time you have, as well as growth. Embedding growth, personal growth isn't probably something that's in a lot of younger people's plans, or at least agendas, or at least articulated clearly, but it doesn't mean it couldn't be. So I'd be more than happy if this is something you're interested in kind of diving into, because it's kind of hard to get into specifics without a specific example of how to kind of break your time and broker it so that the summer ends up being the best that you've ever wanted based on just your priorities. Getting clear on your priorities really just kind of helps make it easy to make that achievable. So if this is something you're interested in, like in doing as an exercise or reaching out, I'd be more than happy to ask some questions. But this really kind of gave me clarity because, like I said, about 10 years ago, I was still really kind of living the priorities that other people had kind of set out for me based on what society thought were the most important things. And then when I really got clear about what was important to me, it really made me feel a lot less guilty about not necessarily putting what some people or society might put above other things. And it just made me feel a lot better about it. And I just got really clear about how I wanted to show up and what I wanted to do and what really mattered to me. And I think since then, I've just been able to be a lot happier and fulfilled with what I'm doing. So anyway, if this sounds like something you want to kind of get some help walking through, I'm more than happy to do it. Otherwise, feel free to leave a comment, and hope this helps. Take care.